Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Foxy98 here, and welcome to the first official F1 2019 car to be launched this year, and it is Haas F1 or Rich Energy Haas F1 that have launched their car for 2019, and it's time to get down and have a little look at the car. Disclaimer before we get into today's video, and for every single car launch, I'm not a tech genius on F1, so I'm not going to go into every single detail like you do on Sky and all that crap, because I just don't know all that stuff. So I'm just going to give you the basics of what I know off the top of my head, so if you think that I'm talking like a tech genius, I haven't got a clue about lots of things. Now that that's out of the way, first of all, from this initial shot we got of the car then, so obviously with Rich Energy now being a title sponsor for Haas F1, we were expecting a complete change in livery, and that's exactly what we've got with obviously now the black and gold livery, very similar to how Lotus was obviously, but that gold livery just a little bit darker in terms of lighting compared to the other one. In terms of the Rich Energy sponsors, where are they about? Well, they're pretty much everywhere. Obviously, the Haas logo itself has remained in white, so we've got a mixture of white, gold, and black in there. So nice little bit of a taint. I honestly thought that the Haas logo would actually be in gold, but it's not. It's in white, which I'm not really complaining about at all. First impressions of the livery, I like it. I mean, it reminds me, obviously, it will remind you guys of the classic Lotus from back in the day, and it's such a nice livery. It's really good. I like the Rich Energy, where they've placed that. Obviously, they placed it on the front wing as well. Also, they put it on the rear wing, on the halo as well, which is kind of cool. But looking at the car from this initial shot, it doesn't actually look as different as its predecessor in 2018 in terms of the chassis and the overall look of the car itself. That I honestly thought would change a little bit. But clearly it hasn't, which I'm not complaining about. The Haas car looks really nice. Yeah, let's go and have a look at some other shots. Try and nip out a little few bits, and obviously I'll just explain the rules and regulations a little bit, because there obviously are changes that maybe you're not too sure about. Alright, so we're going to have a little look at the back of the car now. So as you can see, obviously the Haas logo on the side pod as usual. And obviously they've got the peak sponsorship that they got from last season, which they were going to put onto this season. It was always said that that peak sponsorship was going to go onto the rear of the car, and that's what they've done. In terms of the overall taint to the car, obviously, as we saw, the front wing has been simplified for this year. That is something that we were already confirmed. That's just to try and help overtaking and for those drivers behind to stay in the dirty air of another car for longer time periods. We're not sure if that's going to work yet, but obviously it could potentially do. Of course, we know as well that the brakes, there's no aerodynamic pieces now on the brakes anymore, and as well the barge board has been lowered and moved forward, and that is actually to enable sponsors to actually be there, and that's something that the teams wanted. The halo looks pretty much the same as last year. I thought they may have tried to stylize it a little bit, but potentially they may not have been able to have done that because of specific reasons, so that kind of completely makes sense there in my opinion. But honestly, now that the days have gone, now that the year has gone past, the halo doesn't really bother me that much anymore. It's just there, and even when you go to a race itself, you don't see the thing actually hardly a lot of the time. So yeah, obviously, in terms of the shark fin style, like engine cover at the back, that's remained the same. Obviously, the rear wing this year is wider and also higher as well, so there's something to note about as well. So honestly, it's more just another case of 2019 is yet another evolution stage. Obviously, 2018 was another evolution stage to 2017, and that's the same thing in 2019. But let's have a look at the two shots that we just had, that we've gone through initially together, and then we'll move on to the other ones. So there they are then, the two shots there together, obviously the ones top and the bottom there. So just giving yourselves another chance to have a look at it. So once again, as you can see on the front wing, much more simplified. We've got a much better shot showing it from the front, which is the final shot that I'll be showing today. Like I said, just going to give you a nice little look at the car itself. You can see obviously those front wings much more simple. And as I said, the halo hasn't really changed at all that much. Honestly, like I said, I thought they'd try and make it a bit more aggressive. On the back of the Haas, actually, from the shots, they have actually still introduced a little mini T-wing that goes underneath the rear wing and is on the engine cover. So obviously that was not really a problem. A lot of the teams did it. Ferrari, Mercedes, Haas, they were all doing it. They've gone back and they've started to do it again. But which isn't really that much of a massive problem. Of course, honestly, no one really complained about them, and they're not looking that ugly at all. So let's just look at one final shot now of the Haas car before we round off the video. probably the best shot of them all, and the one that's really going to give you all the more information that you really need to see about the Haas is going to be from this shot here. So you can see how the front wing actually, because it's wider, you can see that the very back end plate of the front wing sort of swings out where the front two tires are. So eventually, that's going to allow the channel of the airflow to go around the tires rather than to go over. Well, some of it's going to go over the top, obviously, but it's also going to go around it. Side pods wise, they have pretty much kind of kept a very similar spec side pods to what they did in 2018. Although it does look a little bit skinnier this year than what it did in the previous year. And of course, like I said, barge boards lower and further forward. So you can still see that little change there. And there's no, obviously, aerodynamic stuff on the brakes. And obviously, you can clearly tell that the rear wing, I can clearly see it from this shot, has taken a bit of a change. Overall, it looks like a very, very nice car. Let me know what you think of the Haas car in the comment section down below. If you have enjoyed today's video, feel free to drop it a like, subscribe if you're new around here as well. And yeah, that is the first car done. Next one, I can't even remember off the top of my head. I think it is on the 13th of February is going to be the next car. But until that time period, I will see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching, and this is the Haas car. Take care all. Peace.